it was hard. It was hard to break out of that, dude. And I still think about it. I have dreams, not so often now, but like every once in a while, I'll have a dream where I'm told, where I'm like, uh, where I'm like in church or something, and people are trying to get me back in or something, or I think like I was reading some entries from my dream journal, and I remember I had one where this girl I used to talk to in church, this friend, she was telling me, I had a dream of you, that you were in church, and that you looked like you had gone through hell, and you look different, and we weren't saying it, but we were all happy that you were there. And it was just crazy, bro. Like they're just really trying to freaking hammer this home into people, man. Like really hammer it home into people. It was nuts, man. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
that
rough. I'm just so glad I'm out of it.
yeah, that's another thing in church. A lot of the stuff, what I really had a hard time with is I remember I would go back to think of all the testimonies and all these supposedly miracles that Samuel did and Nason did, and that's the only thing that would really go back to my head and be like, so none of that was true, like what if they were true, like, and then I'm thinking like, fucking Julian, fucking relax, bro. Like, where the fuck is the proof? Like, yeah, there's testimonies, but like, think, bro. Think. Use your head and think, Julian. Every time a person, especially the Joaquin family, right? Uciel or Nason or Benjamin or even Abdiel, like these guys, bro. I went and looked them up. And if you go in on YouTube and look these guys' testimonies, or even a high-ranking pastor, they always say these words right here: "Hubo un hermano, hubo una hermana," and they never give the fucking name. Who? Who?
Yeah,
Hubo un hermano allá en una iglesia en Australia, o una hermana allá en una iglesia en una horita ahí de Argentina, or some shit. And I'm like, well, fucking who, dude? But they don't say who, dude. And I'm like, think, Julian, think. Are those true? Like, if
yeah.
it was true, they would know the name. People must have been there, and they keep it so weird. Like, it was like it's like a little, just a little story. Hay un hermano allá en Argentina, hermanos, que, and this is like, bro,
Did
dude. There
you
was
do you
one,
have any stories? Do you have any stories? Yeah, give me an example. I,
there
I
was
have
one where
some.
Abdiel, right? And if you look it up, it's on YouTube, and he's talking about, he's trying to give this like sermon about, because they're about to ask for the Holy Spirit, and he's right there, bro, and like, the camera's already recording, and he's there in the pulpit before it starts, and he's this guy's literally on his phone, bro, just like this, like on the pulpit, just like this, and then he smiles, he goes, and he's just like texting on the fucking pulpit before it starts, and I'm like, oh shit, like, if I was to see that as a member, I would think, nothing bad of it, but now that I see it, it's like, okay, so whatever, right? So he's there in the pulpit and he's texting, and then it starts, and he's giving out, this like story, and he starts to he the story was this. The story was that there was a time where he was in the outside of the guard. He was outside of the house in Guadalajara, some house, and this house had an elevator. I'm assuming his house has an elevator, and he's saying that his house has an elevator, and he's saying that his bodyguards were there, and that there was this brother, right? The brother, and un hermano. He never says the fucking name, never says who this person is, you know. And the brother gets there, and he wants to give him a present, like, because I guess everyone does that, gives him presents. And so this brother got there kind of late, and he wants to give Nason a present, and the security guards and they're not letting him. They want to tell him like, hey, he's tired, he's this and that, and he's saying that this brother, right, understood, which is, there's no fucking brother, this is all bullshit, right? But I guess
Mhm.
his brother was really trying hard, but like, here, no, they have to receive this present, it's for him, like, I really want him to have it. And so anyways, he ends up leaving, and um no, he leaves it there with the securities, and he just tells him, if you get to see him, just give him the present, please. And the point is that the fact that he tried so hard to really, he wanted to give him this present. Um, the they ended up just receiving it. They received it. They were holding it for him in case they saw the apostle again or whatever. And that's one. So like right after he left, he says that the Nason took the elevator down or the stairs down, and he opened the door and he was like, "Hey, where is he? Where's the person? I was waiting for him. I was waiting for him." And I guess if you really really want something, it can happen. And then Nason got the present, and he just went back in his room. And it was just stupid. It was just fucking stupid. Like you could tell this guy just made it
Yeah.
up in like 5 seconds. He never says the member name or anything, dude. And that goes with like all their testimonies. And that's something that I was like kind of shocked, like, wow, you know. And that's something big that they use to really hype up the church. I
Just
remember a
like vague.
person,
It's just vague
yeah,
like anecdotes. It's just vague.
yeah,
Just tall
all
tales,
the
man. Right? It's
now
just
that I
tall
go
tales.
back,
Uh-huh.
now that I go back to like a lot of brothers who would tell me like testimonies, like for in my church that I was or whatever, they always say the same thing: a brother, or an hermana, or this or that. And I'm sure like maybe things have happened, like supernatural things, I don't know, in church or whatever, right? That has nothing to do with Nason, but right away, bro, they have to like say, or they just mentally think, oh, it's because Nason. It's because he prays. This guy wakes up at 5 in the morning, so this is why this happened, because he prayed, because he thought about me in this particular day. It's like fucking
Mm-hmm.
no, dude, no, bro. Shit happens all over the world to a lot of people, unexplainable things, whatever. And Nason doesn't think about them, like it's just weird. Like if you really break it down and think it thoroughly, it's just ridiculous. It's stupid. None of it makes any sense,
Yeah, for
But
sure.
they're just in this like fantasy land, bro. Like I don't know. It's kind of
Let,
hard to explain.
let me tell you one that I've heard for sure more than for sure at least twice, but for sure once I heard it. There's this like vague one that I remember hearing, and I don't know who exactly, but I know for sure I always grew up around it, or I just known it for a long time. There's this one where people were saying that like maybe some gang member or maybe some just to strip a lot of details and not introduce it all. The bare minimum of it is that some dude that didn't belong to the church ends up going to a church somewhere to a pastor, and he's talking like, hey man, I felt like I was supposed to be here. I had a dream, or I saw a vision, or I met someone on the street or something, and the dude was telling me to go to church and this church and this church. He was telling me to go to this one. And then when he goes inside to the office or something, he sees a picture of whoever's the apostle, and I'm pretty sure it was probably Samuel for sure. um I'm pretty sure that the testimony goes to then, and he'll this person supposedly sees a picture and he's like, yeah, that's the dude. And and then this person
Oh,
becomes a member or something, right? But the idea of it is that like, oh well, Nathan or Samuel the apostle, whoever, is omnipresent, and while you may see him in person here somewhere, he's also spiritually or mentally in some other place working miracles on people and shit. I'm like, that's one that I heard. Have you heard something like this? I know,
yeah,
I know, for
dude.
sure.
They always say this. They use the same fucking the same strategy. I heard of one where this guy he was a driver, a taxi driver in Guadalajara, and that he was giving a ride to this man, and that the man and look how
Oh,
stupid this
okay, okay.
is.
I
And then
didn't
this
hear the
man
taxi. Yeah.
or
Go
I
on, go
think
on.
it was a taxi. I don't know. It was a driver, and he's just I don't know. If it was, I don't know. It was just a driver, and that he picks up this guy or he runs into this dude, and this dude tells him, you should go to this church. He invites him to the church, gives him the information of the church, and so okay, the guys end up checking it out. And then when he's walking up, he sees the big old freaking poster of Nason, and he goes, "That's the man who invited me to come here."
I've heard this
But it's
before.
like
Yeah, right.
it's like okay, if you live in Guadalajara, I'm pretty sure that, and especially in La Hermosa Provincia, like who fucking doesn't know this guy? So, but you're gonna pretend that you didn't know him when you saw him. Oh, it's him. He's the guy who invited me. And now you've never seen this guy. It was so stupid, dude. It's
Yeah.
so stupid.
There's another one I heard, man, where I can't say, I don't know if I heard this for exactly from a pulpit, or if I heard this like from friends my age one day when we were just talking stuff. But I remember hearing one where something about someone keeping guard of a church, and I don't know if it's Guadalajara or elsewhere, probably Guadalajara, but someone's keeping guard of church, like there overnight, and then supposedly that they see some sort of dark figure or
Oh
angel or
yeah,
something,
yeah,
and then supposedly that like the apostle or whoever goes inside the church to go confront it or something like that.
yeah. I heard that
I've
one.
heard something, just to keep it like really vague like that. Come on, like people are just pulling this shit out their fucking ass, bro. And again, it always comes back to this, bro. Like I would delete this YouTube channel if this man would just show me him raising someone from the dead. Like I delete this, I fucking take it all back. I go back to him. I just turn myself back, right back into God, just all that crap, man. If you just freaking showed me your magic powers and the fact that you are apparently confronting these black angels that just show up into church that are like spawns from Satan, and I don't know, man. It's nuts.
Bro,
Uh-huh.
I remember there was a Dominical here, right where I'm from, and I remember it was like towards the end, and that's something that a lot of members even like to do. They like to say a testimonial to spice things up, right? And then this brother literally said that one occasion that uh it was in Samuel's time, right? That I guess it was raining that day, or I don't know what was up with the weather. Something was up with the weather, and that day everybody feared that if the apostle walked out, that he was gonna get wet. So what happened is when he walked out, I guess or no, or someone was, I think it was something was trying to harm him. Everybody had heard that somebody wanted to harm him. I don't know who, but when he walked out of his house, they always tell him not to leave the house, to stay, not to walk out or whatever. But he decided to just walk out, and I guess like, bro, I guess a cloud descended from like the sky, and it came all the way down, and it was literally just above Samuel, and the cloud followed him into the church, and like he walked into his little throne, and the cloud was there on top while he gave his sermon, and then when he walked out, the cloud followed him back until he went to his house, and then the cloud just went away. What do you think?
I feel like I've heard something like this. I'm not even kidding. I feel like I've heard something about some sort
But
of
but
cloud,
the
yeah,
funniest part
inside
is
of a
that
building. Yeah,
the member who was saying this wasn't there. None of us were there. We're just hearing this story like fuck. And of course, it's the reason why it gives it some sort of like um like it's true is because the fact that it's in a church, and oh, if it's got to do with the apostle, it's got to be true, right? And it's, bro, it's like they manipulate the fact that people have this like high belief on this guy, so anything that they can relate to him, it's gonna be true, and that's how they get away with it. But if you really think about it, dude, like this shit would be on the news, bro. All this stuff that these guys have done, raising people from the dead, like this stuff would have already hit news. Like it would have, if you see if come on, bro, it would have hit the news
yeah.
or something,
In the same
something.
way, yeah,
How many people would like, the Bible talks about stuff like that, right? That I guess it did happen, and a lot of people would convert in that moment. People who were like not even from church. If not someone was doing stuff like that, bro, you would see a lot of people like this would be huge. But come on, now someone's at the fucking Mundial in Russia, and people don't
yeah.
even care about this guy. They don't care who he is. Like,
Uh-huh.
come on. For all they know is he's probably there, a normal dude, probably walking with a slice of pizza in his hand, or went to the bathroom, like probably, just like anyone else, farts. This guy probably farts and everything in the bathroom, and people don't care about this guy. He's just a normal guy. Probably, bro, I could probably washing his hands, probably popping his pimples, or looking at his greasy ass face. Like, he's a normal guy, guys. Like, this guy is like not Superman.
Yeah. Um, dude, there's probably like more stories, and I honestly I've forgotten about them. I haven't thought about them in a long time. But again, these are just like tall tales that people tell each other. Maybe they believe them when they're repeating it. Maybe they like inflate it or dress it
Yeah,
up in some way when they're saying it. Maybe they're not
definitely.
sinister and repeating those things, but that's a thing. That's a freaking thing, and people are straight up in it and just don't.